Picture a bathroom in 1974. Avocado green tile. A single bulb over the mirror. That was the stage where the American woman became a movie star on a budget. She did not own a shelf of 40 serums. She had a tub, a few honest products, and a ritual handed down from her mother. Now hear the secret the beauty counter buried. One principle, cheap enough to cost pocket change, made these women glow brighter than anything sold today. Your grandmother knew it without ever naming it. By the end, you will know it too. The modern beauty aisle does not want you to remember any of this. It would rather sell you 12 steps where one used to do. So we are going to take it all back, one ritual at a time. Let us count down the 25 forgotten bath rituals. Modern brands hope you never rediscover. Number 25. Calgone bath beads. The 1970s handed us a catchphrase. A frazzled mother, tangled in a phone cord, cried out for escape. Calgone, take me away. And away she went, into warm water and softening beads. Calgone had sold bath products since the 1940s, but that campaign made the soak a small act of rebellion. The beads dissolved and softened hard water, so soap lathered better and skin felt slick rather than squeaky. Your grandmother locked the door for 20 minutes and called it medicine. Today, we sell the same escape as a luxury candle and a meditation app. She just ran the tap. Number 24, Avon Skin So Soft. If the water was the stage, this bath oil was the costume. Avon launched it in 1961, and women poured a capful straight into the tub. A thin film spread across the surface. When you stepped out, that film clung to wet skin and sealed the water in. That is the whole trick, and we will return to it. The scent was unmistakable, soft, and a little old-fashioned. Generations later, people swore it also kept mosquitoes off, which delighted everyone except Avon's lawyers. One honest bottle did the work of a bath oil, a moisturizer, and a bug spray. Number 23, Jean Naté. After bath. Splash. Now came the finish. You stepped from the tub and splashed this cool, lemony liquid across your shoulders and arms. It was bracing. It woke you up like a slap of citrus. By the 1970s, the yellow bottle sat on millions of bathroom shelves, and the friction of patting it on was half the point. The alcohol evaporated fast and left a clean, sharp scent behind. There was no science fiction in it. There was a sensation and a smell that meant you were ready for the day. Today, that same gesture costs 4 times as much and gets called a niacinamide toning essence. Number 22, the figural bubble bath bottles. Not every ritual was solemn. Bubble bath came in plastic bottles shaped like cartoon characters, the soap sealed inside a hollow clown or a grinning astronaut. Children begged for them. Mothers bought them because a child who wanted a bath was a miracle worth paying for. The bubbles were mostly mild surfactant and scent, gentle enough for small skin. Your grandmother kept one on the tub edge long after the children grew because the empty bottle still smelled like a Saturday night. We replaced it with a tablet that fizzes for 90 seconds and dyes the water an alarming shade of blue. Number 21. Prel Concentrate. Step away from the tub and toward the shampoo. Procter & Gamble introduced Prel in 1947, a thick green concentrate sold in a tube like toothpaste. The famous television spot dropped a single pearl through the gel. It sank slowly, proving the stuff was rich and undiluted. A dab the size of a pea cleaned a full head of hair because you were not paying to ship water in a giant bottle. The tube never shattered on a hard floor either. Modern shampoo is mostly water, sold by the liter, in a bottle engineered to run out right before the conditioner does. Number 20. Clairol Herbal Essence. In 1971, Clairol bottled the whole back-to-nature mood into one green shampoo. The label showed a nature girl bathing in a wild spring. The scent came from a blend of 16 herbs and wildflowers, and people still chase old bottles on auction sites today. Now an honest word. The image ran far ahead of the formula. It was not truly organic, whatever the wildflowers on the front suggested. But the smell was real, and it turned a rushed morning wash into something close to a walk in the woods. The current version smells different, and the original lives on mostly in the memories of the people who used it. Number 19. The beer rinse. It sounds like a joke. It is not. Women rinsed their hair with flat beer, and in the late 1970s, Clairol sold the idea in a bottle called Body on Tap, made with real beer. The logic holds up. The proteins and sugars in beer cling to the hair shaft and coat it, so each strand reads as thicker and catches more light. Your grandmother let a can go flat on purpose, then poured it over her head in the shower and rinsed it clean. The bathroom smelled like a tavern for an hour. Today, you buy a thickening mousse built on the very same idea, minus the morning after aroma. Number 18. The henna treatment. Before we pause, one more from the kitchen counter. Henna is a powdered plant leaf, and women mixed it into a muddy green paste, slapped it on, and waited under a towel. As it sat, the dye bound to the outside of each hair, coating the shaft and staining it a warm copper red. It conditioned while it colored, because that coating also smoothed the surface. It was patient work. It stained the sink, the towels, and the occasional forehead. And that coating, that simple act of sealing the outside of something, is exactly where we need to slow down. Let us pause here for a moment. You have heard the same idea 3 times now. Bath oil sealing the skin. Henna coating the hair. A film that holds something in. There is a name for it, and it is the engine under half of these rituals. The principle is occlusion. Your skin loses water all day. It evaporates straight out through the surface. A slow leak the experts call transepidermal water loss. A thin layer of oil on top slows that leak to a crawl. It does not feed the skin. It performs no miracle. It simply traps the water already there. And timing was everything. Your grandmother did not oil dry skin. She oiled warm, damp skin, fresh from the tub when the surface was already full of water. The oil sealed that moment in place. Cold cream did the same, a blend of water held inside oil that cooled as it dried. A jar of this cost almost nothing. The science is real, old, and settled. Hold on to it, because nearly every expensive promise in the modern aisle is selling you a fancier door to the same little room. Number 17. Cold cream. We just named the principle, so meet its queen. Cold cream is ancient. The Greek physician Galen mixed beeswax, olive oil, and water in the 2nd century, and the recipe barely changed. The pharmacist Theron Pond gave it an American name in 1846. It feels cold because the water in it evaporates as you rub it in. The oil left behind seals the skin, exactly as we just described. Your grandmother used 1 jar to remove makeup, wash her face, and moisturize before bed. Movie stars did the same under hot studio lights. We now sell those 3 jobs as 3 separate products, each one promising to fix what the last one stripped away. Number 16. The mayonnaise mask. Back to the refrigerator. When hair turned dry and brittle, women reached past the salon and grabbed the mayonnaise. They smeared a cold scoop over the lengths, wrapped it in a plastic bag, and read a magazine for 30 minutes. The fats and egg in it coated each strand and sealed in moisture. The same trick as the bath oil served on rye. It smelled exactly as bad as you imagine. The rinse felt like victory. Today, a jar of the same fats, perfumed and renamed a bonding repair mask, costs more than a full bag of groceries once did. Number 15. Vitabath Gelée. Not everything was thrift. Some rituals felt like luxury on purpose. Vitabath was a thick green bath gelée, and a small scoop turned the whole tub into rich, scented foam. It felt expensive in the water, slick and dense, the kind of thing a countess might use. A little went a long way, because the formula was concentrated rather than watered down. Your grandmother kept the jar for special evenings, the hard days and the celebrations both. The modern shelf is full of body washes that promise the same spa feeling and deliver a thin, quick lather that vanishes before the warmth does. Number 14, Dippity-Doo and the Roller Set. Sunday hair was built on Saturday night. Women coated damp hair in a setting gel called Dippity-Doo, wound it onto rollers, sometimes using empty juice cans for a big, smooth sweep, and slept on the lot. The science is genuine. Wet hair holds soft bonds that break and reform as it dries. Dry it locked around a roller, and it keeps that shape until the next wash. The gel only made the bonds set harder. The discomfort was legendary. Try sleeping on a head of frozen juice cans. Today, we burn the same shape in with a 400-degree iron in 10 minutes, and the curl falls by noon. Number 13, the instant hair setter. By the early 1970s, the overnight set met its rival. Clairol sold electric hot rollers that warmed inside their own case, ready in minutes. You clipped the warm rollers in, finished your coffee, pulled them out, and walked off with a full set. The heat did fast what a night on cans did slowly, softening and resetting the bonds in the hair. It was a small liberation. No more lumpy pillow. The rollers lasted for decades because a heated metal core in a sturdy case has very little to break. The cordless version sold today often dies the month after the warranty does. Number 12, lemon juice and sun-in. Summer hair came with a gamble. Girls soaked their hair in lemon juice or sprayed on a lightener called sun-in, then sat in the sun. The peroxide and citric acid, kicked along by ultraviolet light, stripped pigment from the strands. Sometimes you got soft gold. Often you got brass or a streak of startling orange. Your grandmother may still wince at the memory. Here is the honest update, because accuracy matters more than nostalgia. We now know that baking your hair and scalp in direct sun did real harm to both. Salons sell controlled highlights today for good reason, even if the old bottle was a great deal cheaper. Number 11, Sea Breeze Astringent. The face had its own ritual, and it stung with pride. Sea Breeze was an astringent, sharp with alcohol and menthol, and you swiped it across your skin on a cotton ball after washing. It bit. That cold tingle felt like proof the dirt was gone. The astringent tightened the surface and stripped away oil, which is exactly why it worked, and exactly why it sometimes left you raw. Your grandmother swore by the sting. Today, the same job is split across a milky cleanser, a hydrating toner, and an essence. 3 gentle steps designed so nothing ever tingles again, and the bottle count triples. Number 10. The baby oil tan. Here is the ritual that defined the decade's idea of a movie star. A golden tan meant glamour, money, leisure. So women mixed baby oil with a few drops of iodine for color, or reached for bain de soleil and lay in the sun for hours. The oil protected nothing. It turned the skin into a roasting surface and sped the burn along. The smell of coconut still pulls some people straight back to a towel on hot concrete. Now the honest part, and it is not small. We understand the cost today. That bronzed glow was sun damage, plain and clear, and the lines and worse arrived years down the road. Your grandmother chased a look the science had not yet caught up to. Hit that subscribe button, because what you are learning here might change how you think about the products filling stores today. Now we cross into the rituals that started it all. Number 9. The single bar of soap. For most of history, washing meant one bar. Real soap is just fat and lye cooked together, and a single bar did the whole body and often the hair as well. In 1955, a new kind of bar arrived, marketed as a beauty bar gentler than true soap. It was the first crack in a very simple system. Because here is the question that sets up everything coming next. How did the human race go from one honest bar at the sink to a shower shelf groaning under 8 different bottles? Your grandmother washed with one. We somehow need a fleet. Let us pause again and follow the money. Nobody dropped cold cream off a cliff. It still sits on the shelf. The change was quieter and far cleverer than destruction. The industry took one job and split it into many. Think about what a single jar of cold cream once did. It removed makeup. It cleaned the face. It moisturized for the night. 3 tasks, 1 purchase, pennies a use. A business cannot grow forever selling one cheap jar. So the one jar became a cleanser, then a separate makeup remover, then a toner the cleanser supposedly required, then a day cream and a night cream and an eye cream and a serum to sit between them. Each step is real. Each step is sold as necessary. Together, they replace one slow ritual with a checkout total your grandmother would not believe. This is not a villain twirling a mustache. It is segmentation, the patient art of selling 5 products where one used to serve. The rituals left in this countdown are the original whole before it was broken into profitable pieces. Keep that in mind as we count down the final 8. Number 8. The Epsom salt soak. Some cures were almost free. A scoop of Epsom salt, which is simply magnesium sulfate, dissolved into a hot bath and soothed tired muscles and aching feet. It cost very little and sat under the sink for years. The warmth did much of the work, easing stiffness and softening rough skin before a good scrub. Your grandmother soaked her feet in a basin of it after a long day standing on them. Now that same plain salt arrives in a velvet pouch labeled Mineral Float Therapy, sold at a wellness boutique for a price that would have made her laugh out loud. Number 7, Witch Hazel and Rosewater. 2 bottles ran the whole show. Witch hazel, distilled from a shrub, is a mild astringent that calms irritation and tightens skin. Rosewater is exactly what it sounds like, gentle and faintly sweet. Between them, women-toned skin soothed razor nicks, cooled sunburn, settled puffy eyes, and freshened a tired face at noon. 1 bottle, a dozen uses, sitting quietly in the cabinet for next to nothing. The modern aisle takes each of those uses and gives it a dedicated product with a clever name. The plant did not change. Only the number of bottles you are told to own did. Number 6, the blue tin of Nivea. One tin sealed everything. Nivea Creme, in its round blue tin, has been made since 1911, built around a rich lanolin-style blend that holds water against the skin. It is occlusion in solid form. Your grandmother used the one tin on her face, her hands, her elbows, her heels, the baby's cheeks in winter, and the dry patch on the dog. It never separated. It never expired in any way she noticed. The tin itself outlived the cream and ended its days holding buttons and safety pins. Now each of those body parts has a dedicated cream, in plastic, at 4 times the cost per ounce. Number 5, petroleum jelly. Here is the purest version of the whole principle. Petroleum jelly, sold as Vaseline since the 1970s, is nothing but a seal. It adds no water and feeds nothing. It simply stops moisture from leaving, more completely than almost anything else on Earth. Women dabbed it on dry lips, cracked heels and chapped hands overnight, and combed a little through their lashes and brows to keep them glossy. A single jar lasted a year and cost a pittance. The modern lip mask in a tiny pot is often petroleum jelly with a flavor and a markup that would embarrass a used car salesman. Number 4, the weekly wash and set. This was less a product than a rhythm. Hair was washed once a weekly, not every day, then set and made to last. Many women kept a standing salon appointment. Others did it at home and slept the week in a silk scarf to guard the shape. Washing daily, it turns out, strips the natural oils the scalp works hard to make. The weekly cycle let those oils do their job. Your grandmother's hair was not dirty, it was conditioned by its own design. We now wash every morning, strip those oils, and buy a bottle of replacements to pour the lost oils right back in. Number 3, the 100 strokes. At the vanity table, by lamplight, came the brushing. 100 strokes a night with a boar bristle brush, a ritual passed from mother to daughter. The point was not vanity alone. The bristles dragged the oil from the scalp down the length of each strand, conditioning and polishing the hair with what the body already made. The stroke calmed the person doing it too, a quiet few minutes at the close of the day. Your grandmother counted them out of habit. A gentler version still works, and it asks for nothing but a good brush and a little patience, which is the one thing no brand can bottle and sell. Number 2, the dusting powder. The ritual ended in a soft cloud. After the bath, women dusted scented powder across the shoulders and back with a big puff, and it drank up the last of the damp and left a faint, clean perfume. It felt finished. It felt cared for. The smell of it could fill a doorway. One honest note belongs here. Much of that powder was talc, and we have since learned to treat it with caution, which is why many brands moved to cornstarch instead. The gesture survives. A puff of fine powder after a bath is still a small, civilized pleasure, made now with cleaner ingredients. Number 1, the after-bath seal. And so we arrive at the whole secret, the one your grandmother performed without a single word about science. She stepped from the warm tub, skin soft and full of water, and before she dried, she pressed in a thin film of oil or a touch of cold cream. That was it. The warmth opened nothing magic. It simply meant her skin was at its fullest, and the oil locked that fullness in. Occlusion, timing, and ritual in one free gesture at the edge of the tub. Every glow you remember on the women who raised you traces back to it. No serum invented since has improved on the idea. They only learned to charge you for the parts. So now it falls to you. Do not just nod along and scroll on. Pick one. Try the afterbath seal this week, a few drops of plain oil onto damp skin before you reach for the towel, or hunt down a jar of cold cream and let it do 3 jobs at once. Or pour a capful of bath oil into the water and step out sealed and soft. 3 rituals, almost free, waiting to be reclaimed. I will tell you what turned me. I always thought the oil step was a fussy old habit, so one winter, with my skin cracking, I tried it the way it was meant to be done. Damp skin, warm from the shower, a thin press of oil before drying. The difference by morning was almost unfair. Years of expensive lotion had never come close. The thing that beat all of it cost less than a cup of coffee and took 10 seconds. That is the quiet lesson under 25. The women before us were not missing the good products. In many ways, they already had them. They had time, a few honest things, and a ritual they trusted. So tell me in the comments, which would you choose? The single blue tin of Nivea that did everything, or a modern shelf of 12 bottles that each promised to do one? I read every answer, and I have a feeling your grandmother would have a few opinions of her own.